Hey guys, my name is Meads, and we're going to do a review for a kind of a new model kit line. This is made by PLUM, PLUM, and they call it Plaque or Plastic Action Kit. This is the first one, and this is Date, and it's kind of like your Japanese character, Date Masamune, where it's always portrayed in the blue and has one eyepiece. Or eye cover, and this one is kind of interesting. It caught my attention. You know, something with swords. I'm a big fan of that, and having that samurai look. So very interesting. So this is just a box. Get a little bit of history there. We're here, on here, and one thing that I noticed, I'm getting a little bit of an inner frame there. And it's, again, just a cool armor altogether. And that's it for the box. And here's the second one. This is Sanada, or pretty much based off Yukimura Sanada. And another samurai, but this one with a pole axe or a spear. That's his weapon. Quite nice. And again, box art, a little bit of history. And there's always that moon. And a little bit more. And I think that's pretty much it for the box art. Right, illustration booklet. Same box art. On the cover, which is nice. Then you start out with, they actually give you the color guide right away. It's numbered. And I'm actually, you know, it's always nice to have a color guide. I'm actually kind of wanting to change the yellow to gold. Runners. And actually, it's a little bit confusing, but there's actually two sets of, the lettering they use is the same. Here, let me explain that a little better. Alright, so this is B, but this is the blue for the armor. And this is also B for the inner frame. They use the same letter. So I was trying to assemble the inner frame first. Like, I grabbed this one first, and then that doesn't look like the right piece. Then I check around. Oh, okay, there we go. So just a little heads up, but I'm pretty sure you guys can figure it out, because here you're gonna start out with the inner frame. They actually have a kind of like a prefix in front of the, like the first one's B7, and kind of indicates, okay, then that might be the gray runners. And you get a couple of pages to do this. And that's pretty much it. They're really nice. On the back, you got PLUM. Alright, so this is the assembled inner frame, and something tells me it's going to be the same one for the rest of them if they ever make more. I'm hoping they will make more. So, your typical one, actually, I'm not too sure yet. I have to check the other one, Sanada, the red one. But so far, quite nice. You have a swivel right there, a swivel on the bicep, fairly good knee bend, and it's double jointed, I think. Yep, you can bend it all the way. You have ankle joints here, and double jointed elbow, always good to have that. Waist swivel, there's a ball joint right there. Actually, the ball joint, the ball plastic part is on the top. Then there's a polycap underneath. Just kind of concerned that it's a little stiff. I'm not sure if it might break the ball joint right there, or the peg. I'm hoping I don't. Then you have the hands right here. You have the closed fist for holding stuff. Then you have a long neck. And you do have an extra pair of hands. And this kind of reminds me of frame arms. They gave you two pairs, basically, the one for holding weapons and one for open hand. And on the back, you do have a movement here too, which is good. And I think a little bit of ab articulation. So that kind of plays well. I mean, a really great inner frame, and the construction of this is fairly good. I really like it. Solid. Nothing loose, nothing out of place, and pieces just snap together tight, which is great. So again, this with all the peg holes around it just kind of reminds me of frame arms. Alright, and size comparisons right off the bat. We have the full armored 7th high grade, pretty much ARC-78, about the same height, but these guys are a little bit bulkier with all that frame or outer frame. And it's quite nice, especially Sanada. It's a lot bulkier than Date. Yep. Why don't we take a closer look at that Date first? Alright, so taking a closer look at this guy. Really awesome. I really like the blue. It has that dark navy blue. Well, not really dark, but good shading of dark, or a good hue of blue. This is right out of the box. I haven't painted it yet, but I'll probably follow the box art. There's a little bit of on the knee, maybe a little bit of dry brushing, and definitely gotta paint the yellow into gold. That's probably a given there. The yellow is okay. I prefer if it's gold, but I mean, unless it's gold plating, it's really hard to have gold plastic. But yeah, yellow is fine. And just looking around, really nice details. I really like the armor. A lot of bends and edges, really nice. There's a lot of peg holes, as you'll notice. It's pretty much, I mean, later on the line, they probably added different armors over there, or different attachment. Will be cool to see a ninja. And I do want to point out that this is detachable here, and I guess you can put it on other peg holes right over here if you want to. Oops, that pops off. There's a bolt joint right there. There's a polycap inside. This part here can be covered with these small rectangular pieces, one for each side, if you want to cover that up and have this attached somewhere else. But yeah, it's over there. Actually quite interesting, that thing is hollow straight. But yeah, and I mean, you can remove some of the armor. I'm not sure of, well, actually I don't know if you can remove that one, but I'll leave it at that for now. Then you get the blades, all white. You pretty much just put the yellow, kind of squeeze it from the top here all the way down, and like so, put it on. You do have another pair of hands, which is just open right here, and pretty much this. And for the most part, that's all you need, unless you want to have a pointing finger. You don't really need a closed fist, because this one kind of works the same way. It does have a shoulder movement, as you can see there. You can bend the shoulder forward a lot, actually, quite nice for more dynamic poses. You get double jointed elbow. You have the sword there, but like that. This thing fell off. But I mean, there's the armor hindrance, but you can move this too. I should have done the articulation when he doesn't have all the armor. But you know, nonetheless. You have movable front skirt. There is the peg there for swivel, and moving up. Then you get double jointed knees also. Again, a lot of articulation. And you can move the side skirts. There's thrusters there. And on the back, you can move the back skirt. Here you get the ankle movement. Really good. And there's no bend right here in the halfway, so it's just a solid foot. Head, side to side, you can look up and down. There's a little bit of ab articulation, which is pretty good. I don't know if he can move up, but yeah, there you go. He can look up a little bit. Really nice, really good articulation. Yep, and that's pretty much for Date. Let's look at Sanada. Alright, Sanada, he actually has a really long spear. This is really long. Yep. And I'll put it aside, but you do have a white one, white Again, might paint this to silver, keep the red on the staff. And actually, after building this, the red is not too bad. I guess after you have it on top of the gray, it kind of blends. It's, it's a bright red. I don't know if I mentioned already, but there are some pieces that have undergates, especially I think the front skirt. But I have a little problem. I still need to kind of squeeze it in and remove the seam line. But yeah, for this guy, you have a little bit more white here. I do have a problem on the face. I had to kind of glue it together because it's two halves that you kind of squeeze in together and put it up there on the armor. I do have a little problem there, so just a heads up. Forgot to mention that it has an eyepiece right there, which you can paint. But actually, it comes with two sets, the one with the kind of like design and the one with just clear. So you get two sets for each eyepiece for Date. For this guy, I think you're just getting kind of like a visor. It's all in here, all those clear parts. And again, you're gonna have the close, the fists, or not just a fist, but one for holding the weapons and one open hand. Same as Date. And you also have this one. It's kind of like a visor that goes in. And it's a little tricky, but there it goes. Let's see. Let me take this out. It's always something falling apart. Yeah, again, this one is not, it's kind of just slides in there. Maybe just super glue it in place. I don't think it's needed to be removable. And again, you have that yellow. It's nice if it's gold, but something that basically left to the modeler to paint. And this is not working. There we go. So you have the visor, and let me fix the camera. Alright, there you go. Not too bad. Again, looking at the design, you have a lot of bulk. There's actually several plates on the leg. Really bulky and nice. Same articulation as Date. Looking back, you do have a little bit of a connector part there for the spear if you want to have it on his back. And there we go. There goes his visor. I'll put that back in a bit. You also have a side skirt with thrusters on them. It's different from. It's actually the whole armor is a lot different than Date, so it's quite interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the armor. I mean, you can remove it if you want. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, or actually, I'm really surprised of how there's a lot of intricate details on this, and it's quite fun build. Again, great build. I really like this kits. Although it's slightly pricey, you might be looking around paying $30+ I got it about 26, 28 on AmiAmi, but that's not including shipping, so you might be looking around 35 or even more for this. It is quite steep, especially if you can get the same thing on, something from Bandai. This high grade mold kits, they're a lot cheaper and probably a little bit more detailed. But it really depends on you. If you want to try something different, or you're a big fan of samurais, definitely pick this up. I mean, for me, I really like it, and hoping to see more of these kits, and maybe they'll make more from that. From based off, since we already seen Date, Masamune, Yukimura, maybe the others from the Sengoku. Well, I'm thinking of the Sengoku Basara. Another thing, if you're wondering how is this built, it's pretty solid. I really like it. There are a few parts, like I mentioned, the faceplate of Sanada has issues a little bit, but you can fix that with super glue, or maybe it's just me. I don't know what I'm doing. But another thing I want to point out, this is kind of like frame arms. If you have built frame arms before, same thing. You have an inner frame and you put in the armor. and it's a similar build. And there you go, that's my review. If you have any questions, suggestions, or any comments, please leave them down below and I'll gladly answer that for you. Otherwise, hope you like this review. So until then, this is Meat. Thank you for watching.